Hey, so if you're seeing this video, I think it's safe to assume that this message is for you personally. Um, what I feel compelled to say today is that it is time for you to stop living your life through the lens of a whole bunch of false ideas that you have about yourself and the world. And these are everywhere in your perception and your existence, to the extent that once you become aware of it, it will continuously blow your mind as you realize how much of your life is just a computer simulation for all intents and purposes. Pretty much everything about the personality that you experience as yourself is completely fabricated. It's made up of a million experiences and a million conclusions. And those things, the vast majority of the time, vast majority of the time, have no basis in any kind of objective, solid reality, period. They can be changed. They can just be eliminated entirely. They don't even need to be replaced by anything. And you can experience the world in a way that is free, in a way that you're not currently experiencing it. The average person just has no clue what percentage of their life, their day, their experience is just absolutely devoid of any kind of meaning or any truth would be a better way of putting it. Anyway, it's very important to start the process of eliminating, or at least becoming aware of what the major misconceptions you have about yourself are. It's very important for this to start now. And I've been working on, I was talking here recently about how I'm going to publish I think I said I wasn't sure I was going to publish it, but I am. I'm working on, I guess it's a book, but it's a sort of an instructional manual for how to use ChatGPT to assist you with this. But really, it's just more about why this needs to be done and how to do it using ChatGPT, which is just one of a million things that you can do. I mean, you can do a lot of this on your own just by being open to the truth, just by being open to being wrong about things that you think and believe, wrong about the conclusions that you've drawn about things that happened in the past, especially if there are ones that are really dearly held and really deeply believed. If you're willing to be wrong about those things, your life will drastically change. Pretty much guaranteed. It takes that little willingness to have a shift in perception. And that's usually how it starts, and often that's all it takes, because, once a major domino falls, so do a lot of other ones. And that kind of starts, I think, a forward motion that for a lot of people never ends, in terms of sort of deconstructing and rebuilding, or, their personality, or just experiencing the world through a much, much cleaner lens with a lot fewer beliefs and rigid structures and things like that. So I felt like this big drive to get this thing written and out there, like now. And this morning, I've been going out for a walk every morning, super early, like I do in the summer. And this just without, my headphones on or anything like that, just like about a 45-minute walk with just myself. And this morning, so during this time, I'm trying to allow something to just come through me if it wants to. I'm just trying to allow a clear mind to be there and be receptive. And today I thought to myself, like, these words just kind of formulated in my mind. I'm concerned about a calamity befalling humans. I think that's kind of the way that it articulated itself. But then as I thought about that, I realized, okay, I thought, well, I'm not super concerned about myself. I'm concerned about myself from the standpoint of, what sort of collective experience will I be a part of? What sort of culture will I have access to? What kind of, atmosphere will I be living in? I'm concerned about it for myself from that perspective, but I'm much more concerned for other people, that they are, with the state of people these days, a lot of people are going to lose themselves. Like, literally, they're going to get lost trying to navigate the change in the world that is quite... is it obvious to you yet? I hope it is. I've been talking about this for a while, at least a year, I think. Actually, I don't know. I've been thinking about this for at least a year, pretty intensively, about the change that is, like, obviously coming. And I'm concerned about people... maybe I'm not phrasing this the right way. The fact that there's a siren going off in the distance right now doesn't feel like an accident. There's going to be a lot of people that lose themselves, but the clearer you can get, the more of the structures that you have built that are supporting your life and your personality and the lens through which you're seeing the world and experiencing the world, and that's causing all of your behavior and all of that stuff, the more of the structures that don't serve you or anyone, that are false, that are just like made up of something that you were programmed with, or something that you mistakenly, misguidedly concluded about yourself when you were not old enough to understand what anything meant. The more of those you can get rid of, the easier of a time you're going to have navigating rapid change. Because you're going to know who you really are. You're going to know what really matters. And you're going to lose the aspect of yourself that feels that it has to be something for other people. That feels like it has to be inauthentic in order to survive. That is going to be extremely important to get rid of. That particular thing. I have to be something that is not really me in order to get the things that I need to survive. Because it's going to be exactly the opposite. In order to survive and thrive, you are going to need to know who you are and what you really stand for. And you're going to need to be solid in yourself. And that needs to start now, because for some people, it's going to take a little bit of time to start unraveling all of that stuff. But anyway, I felt compelled to make this video and to let you know that the ChatGPT assisted therapy sort of manual / user guide / example, because a lot of what's going to be a big part of this book, probably at least half of it, is going to be examples for how I use ChatGPT to go through another layer of garbage, which has just been the most freeing thing in the world. Oh my God. My life's completely different. It's June 12th, I think, today. My life's completely different now than it was in April, before this latest round of belief unearthing and destroying. It's just completely different. I can't believe how much of my life before that was feeling, a sense of obligation to other people was, is how I would categorize it. But the way that leaked into everything in my life is amazing to me. It's just like it factored into everything. I'm still finding stuff to this day, obligations to be warm and caring and friendly, all these things that you've been programmed that you must do to be a good little member of society. Like, that's not outside of these beliefs that you've been programmed with. Some of them are functional. Some of them maybe do help you with survival at certain points in your life, but they quickly become prisons where you feel like you have to be a certain way in order to, I don't know, like pass the worthiness test, or to just, I don't know. It's just amazing to me how much I notice all of these throughout the day. Like, there'll be moments in every single day where I feel that I have to behave in a way that is inauthentic because that's just the way it is, or whatever. And it's simply not the case a lot of the time. And I think the result of dropping all of those expectations that other people placed on you and that then you learn to place on yourself, dropping all of that sort of cleans the slate so that you can connect to just sort of the true essence of who you are and what you're doing here and what you came here to do. That may be completely and totally blocked off for you, like in almost every way. You might have no clue what direction you really should be heading in. If you're truly aligned with the real you, like the real signal. I really try not to use the words that have become sort of part of this in my mind, because it's just like, what, the signal. But I don't know, there's a frequency that you tap into when you're not performing, that feels very solid and grounded and real, and there's a direction in it, and there are impulses in it. For me to create this book, it just this drive just came up. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to force myself to do it. This drive just arose. This needs to get out there. This needs to come through you. This needs to be created by you. That kind of thing is what starts popping up when you get rid of all of this other garbage. What this other garbage does is deplete all of your energy and sort of cut off your receiver for this sort of impulse or energetic information, or whatever you would want to call it. I hope any of that made any sense. I think it did. It did to me. But it's time to start working on that. And this thing that I'm writing is going to be completed soon. I've had to do some things for work, and it's just driving me crazy because there's this impulse to just get this thing done. And so I have the whole day today to work on it. And I did about a third of it. I got about a third of it done last Sunday. And I'm going to do a bunch of the writing that I have to do. Thankfully, a big portion of this manual, I don't know what you would call it, was written over the last 3 months by me and GPT, just from our conversations. So that's cool. Some of the work's already done, but the actual writing in the book is not going to be written by GPT. It's going to be written by me. So that I'm going to try to get a lot of that done today. I got a decent portion of the beginning, just kind of setting up who I am and how I got into this and all that stuff. I got that done last weekend, and I got a bunch of the conversations sorted. So that's going to be coming out soon, and it will be free, by the way, at least for a while on Amazon. The Kindle version will be just free to everybody here. And then I'm going to publish it so you can actually buy the physical book too. That'll be cool. And, that will be happening soon, because there is a sense of urgency about what I'm talking about here that, everybody listening to this probably knows exactly why. I don't know if I could explain it, but things are accelerating. And, if you're somebody, I made videos about this earlier this year, urging people to turn their attention away from the events of the world, and especially the biased, distorted reporting of those events. When I say turn your attention away, don't give it any energy. It doesn't mean you can't hear stuff, but when you feel yourself being affected by it, take a step back, come out of it. Imagine your whole being stepping back from this energetic thing that's happening in the world and realize that you're not a part of it. You're not a part of it. You are in the world, but you're not of the world. And you don't need to feed any sort of emotional energy into these things that you see happening. I made videos about that earlier this year because people are just going crazy. They're getting all embroiled in this fantasy that is being projected and reported on. I'm not saying things aren't happening. I'm saying that there is a whole dynamic that is playing out in the world right now that is feeding on itself. And the people involved are feeding each other. And the best thing you can do is pay no attention to it or observe it without any emotion or fear, and just see it for what it is, which is a whole lot of people sort of devolving into this chaos. And what you want to do is stay outside of that chaos. And the best way to stay outside of that chaos is to not feel fear. And the best way to not feel fear is to get rid of all these stupid, useless, unhelpful beliefs that you have about yourself. Again, I will say it. Take your attention away from the things that are happening in the world. That the only exposure you are having to that, the only way you even know about them is through the biased agenda of other people. Standing outside of this and seeing the way things are being reported, it's just insane. There's just like 2 different or more different narratives, and people are getting more and more attached to both of these narratives, or whatever, these multiple narratives. It's like people getting sucked into a nightmare, getting sucked into a story. It's an option to stand outside of it all. So do that. And a great way to do that is to start focusing on yourself and cleaning the lens through which you're seeing and experiencing the world. And so I am working diligently on something to assist with that, I hope. So that's coming soon, and that's all I wanted to say. If you heard this, you needed to hear it. It was for you, absolutely. I'm not making a lot of videos right now, so this one needed to come out and needed to be said, and you needed to hear it for some reason or another.